Is it just me, or is it really annoying how every single social media platform is copying one another? Now, before you light a dumpster fire in the comment section, I do have a solution to the problem that we're talking about today. And what we're talking about is an all-out battle between social media platforms and how they keep copying the features that every single other one offers. But first, a little bit of setup about what I'm talking about. So TikTok is kind of copying YouTube in that they're allowing for up to 10-minute uploads. So they're trying to engage more longer format content. YouTube is copying TikTok with Shorts. That's a pretty clear one. Instagram is copying both with IGTV and Reels, and even going so far as to tell the public that they're no longer interested in stills-based content, that they're focused exclusively on video.
We're going to double down on our focus on video. We're no longer just a photo sharing app, and consolidate all of our video formats around Reels and continue to grow that product.
Even Facebook is completely redesigning their platform to mimic TikTok. And even with like the smaller, quote, flash in the pan platforms that pop up like Clubhouse, you see platforms like Twitter immediately trying to copy that sort of content creation strategy with Twitter Spaces. They're even copying each other after they copy each other. Like TikTok is now copying Facebook and Instagram by incorporating stories into the TikTok platform. So it's all this weird, so they're all copying each other. Now, with all these companies copying each other, they're creating something that I call content vacancies. So what do I mean by content vacancy? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a kind of content that is underrepresented by a content creation platform. So how did this problem manifest? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Everybody's chasing their own tails, trying to catch up with one another. All of the major social media platforms are trying to be the go-to platform for everything. And this is because they're prioritizing popularity and volume rather than authenticity and quality. And those last two are really important for building community, which is a very, very important thing on social media. Now, if you ask me, there's two platforms that are doing authenticity and community-based building really well right now. For me, that's Twitter and YouTube. Twitter is basically the go-to platform for any text-based short-form content. And YouTube is the go-to platform for long-form video content. Yes, there are other things that those platforms provide, but these are the main ones that they cater to the most. And they do a really, really good job at it. Now, the real problem for other platforms is audience ownership. And by that, I mean platforms are trying to be all things to all people. TikTok doesn't want you to go to Instagram, and Instagram doesn't want you to go to TikTok, and YouTube would just rather you stay on the platform for forever. And this is where content vacancy comes in. Take, for instance, YouTube. If they start prioritizing shorts more than prioritizing long-form regular YouTube videos, then their core user base is going to be left behind. This is exactly what happened to Instagram when they prioritized video over stills-based content. People that make stills-based content, i.e. photographs or graphic design, were completely left behind by the platform. That is a content vacancy. Now, I understand the argument of trying to have the largest audience possible and appeasing to the widest amount of people. However, I think there is an argument to the contrary. And this argument stems from streaming platforms. Around when Disney Plus was coming out, this phrase popped into my zeitgeist, which was streaming wars. And by that, I mean there was a bunch of streaming platforms that were all vying for the biggest audience possible. And as a result, almost 80% of American households subscribe to at least one streaming platform. However, 60% of that 80% subscribe to multiple streaming platforms. So it stands to reason that that principle could cross-pollinate to social media platforms. And this is where the solution comes in. If social media platforms cater to one specific type of content and let other social media platforms cater to other specific kinds of content, then the user knows where to go for what kind of content. It seems pretty straightforward. For instance, if you want to look at stills-based content, you go to Instagram. If you want to look at long-form video, you go to YouTube. If you want to look at short-form video, you go to TikTok. It's kind of like being a jack of all trades and master of none. I think if you're the master of one specific trade, you can cater to that audience and increase the value of the community based inside of the platform. Now, I know this is kind of an ambitious thing to think about, but I do think that there is an opportunity to fill these content vacancies in a really meaningful way. I'm sure you have opinions on this, and I would love to hear them. Please leave them in the comment section below. And as always, like and subscribe.